Hi, it's Joan from Joan's Designs and Creations again, and today we're going to make a mint green candy apple. First, I rolled out the clay, and then I used the circle cutter that was big enough that helped me fit around the styrofoam ball that I used. So I gently just formed that clay around the styrofoam ball, and you can use any size that you want. Then the extra that I have, I just cut that off so I don't waste that, and then I gently pull that clay the whole way around the ball, and then I just smooth it out. This helps get out most of the wrinkles before it dries. You don't have to make it absolutely perfect because as it dries, it will smooth out. Next, I take my tool that I use to make my mouth and my little dots at the end of the mouth. Then I use a little bit of clay, put it in a circle, and flatten it out just a little, and I attach it to the head with a little bit of super glue and a little bit of a toothpick stick. Put a little more super glue, and then I put the nose on. Then next I put the eyes on. And I got these eyes from Etsy probably about a year and a half ago, so I'm not even sure where I got them from. But you can use any kind of eyes. Then after I put the eyes on, I do my 3 little lines on the side of each of the eyes just to give it some character. Then next I use my little circle, my little heart, and some white clay, and just cut out 2 little hearts to use as the cheeks. And with a little bit of super glue, I attached them to each side of the nose. This just adds some uniqueness to the cheeks. The next I take the white again and I roll it out. And then I use one of my circle cutters. Well, it's the splat cutter. And it's a little shorter than I want, so I have to thin it out by rolling it out after I had cut it out the size that I want. That just adds that drip on the top of the candy apple. The next I use that same size and I cut out that splat, and then I'm going to put the candy apple on top of that as the dripping from it. Then next I add a skewer in the top of I added little green dots on the cheeks. And then I put the 3 little white dots on the nose at the top. I like to do that just as my signature. Other people have done that too, so I didn't come up with it myself, but I just like to add that touch myself. Then I put a skewer in the top, put it in there, and then I add a straw to it after I add some glue, super glue to the bottom to hold it all in place. And then after I know how tall that skewer is and my straw, I cut it off to make it even. Now I'm just going to make a simple bow with some green ribbon and add that to the bottom of the straw where the drip meets it. And then I add a little jewel. Next, I cut out a snowflake with the same mint green. And you'll see me pulling out the sides of that extra clay as it is along the sides of the cookie cutter. Then next, I take the white and I do the same thing. Roll it out and then press it with the snowflake cookie cutter. And then what I do with that white is I add it on top of the green. It gives it more stability and just adds those 2 colors to it. Then what I do is decorate the snowflake next with some tacky glue. I spread that around with my brush. And then I'm going to add some white jimmies, some clear rhinestones, and some green jimmies. And of course, these are all fake. Just adds a little bit of color and finishes off that snowflake and brings those colors of white and green together. After this dries, then I will attach it to the front of the straw. I'll show you this finished product. Thank you.